you know. And so, you know, she's praying for me and she's encouraging me and we're talking and everything like that. Then I was able to meet Sister Helena and I. We went out for breakfast the other day, and I'm just sharing, this is where I'm at. And so, you know, you need to have some close people.
Amen.
Spirit-filled people who know the Word. Who, when you talk about you are finding yourself in some kind of crisis, they're not just going to say, oh girl, oh, you know, yeah, I was there, it didn't work out for me. No. Give me somebody who's going to tell me what the Word says, who's going to pray and speak and encouraging. It can be truthful, it can hurt, but it's an encouraging word that's going to help you press through what you're going through.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So let me tell you what the Lord did yesterday on my birthday. So my birthday was yesterday. Friday, I think it was, the Lord moved on Deaconess Karen's heart. And she sent me a text. And she said, can you come out to the food pantry tomorrow morning, which is yesterday, Saturday morning. Can you come out and do the closing prayer with everybody at the food pantry? Now, I didn't feel like doing it. And then she put the spiritual guilt on me because she said, after she asked me, can you come out? She said, I just felt led of the Lord to say that. So I had to go and take it to the Lord and pray. And I felt that God was like, yeah, I want you there. So I came. And when I came in and started talking with people, and then we did the prayer, and the Lord just blessed, and then just talking with everybody who was there, and it was just such a tremendous blessing for my heart.
Amen.
And it lets us know that even when you don't feel like, even when you're going through, God lets us know that if you are still available to Him, even while you're going through what you're going through, and you are obedient to do what He's called you to do, then He will bless you while He's busy using you to bless somebody else. So don't run away when you feel like, I don't want to be around people, I'm going through my own. No, your breakthrough is in the midst of people. Where God is telling you to be there in the midst of people.
Amen.
So He blessed me with that experience. And then my wife and my son and my niece, they blew my mind with their cards and their gifts. And I was like, wow. And then Hubert Parrish and his wife called up out of the blue, and they were like, hey, happy birthday! We want to take you guys out to lunch. And so we went to lunch, and that was just like a wonderful time of fellowship. And then we ran into a young couple who's engaged from our previous church who was at lunch where we were. And so it was just great to talk with them and just, kind of impart into them because they're getting ready to get married next year. And so Hubert was talking, we were talking, we were just like, yeah, it's work, but it's doable, it's a blessing. And so that was just a blessing. And then coming out from that, then my friends from Facebook, oh, happy birthday, Alan, blah, blah, blah. These are all friends, went to college with, went to high school with, all the elementary school, all that stuff. So I was like, wow. And then my dad, threw this wonderful, quote unquote, surprise birthday party for my mom and for me and for my brother. And so we came over to the house, to their house, and there are all these people in the back, and they're surprised. And it was just wonderful to just sit and laugh and talk into the night. And I got home. And I was like, Lord, today was a good day. And I went to bed with Thanksgiving on my lips.
Amen.
And I woke up this morning with joy in my heart. And I said, God, you did it. told my wife, I said, the Lord brought me through. I'm on the other side of a big life crisis. And she said, thank God I was praying and praying. My God sister likes to say, won't he do it? Yes, he will. So just for another couple of minutes. So number one, how do we guard our hearts? I said it before, we have to surrender our heart to Jesus.
Amen.
He's the only one who's fully capable of keeping our heart safe, even if it's broken, even if we've got expectations that haven't been met, even if we're dealing with things. He's the only one who can mend the heart. He's the only one. There is no safer place for your heart to be than in the hands of the Lord.
Amen.
And so you have to realize, think about the example of a security detail. You know, we're improving security here. The church is up and looking up security and how security works and all those things. You just think about somebody who has security with them and they're walking around. Now, they have to surrender their will and their heart to their security detail. And they have to learn how, from the security, what the expectations are. Okay, you know, this is how we're going to operate. If we see danger, we're going to do this. We'll need you to do that, and so on and so forth. And so while you could be walking down the store, you know, walking down the street, looking at the window, and trying, oh, do I want to buy that or whatever? Security may be walking around you at some distance, but they're not necessarily paying attention so much so to the dress that you want or the sneakers, but they're looking down the street, they're looking down the alleys, they're looking up at the top of the buildings, they're looking down at the grates on the ground to make sure that if there's any danger, seen or unseen, that they can react at a moment's notice. And so while we are busy going about our lives, security is there. So if they see something before you do, they come in and snatch you up and move you out of harm's way. Or if you find yourself under attack and you can't get out, they swoop in and pull you out of the way. And God is the same way. And He puts His hedge of protection around. And He says you can't see everything that's going on in your life. There are some enemies around you who you think are your friends and they're not. There are some invisible forces that are at work. There are some people in government and politics who are politicking against your future, but I see it all. And I have my hedge of protection around you. And as soon as the devil rears up his ugly head, I will swoop in. And if for some reason the enemy is able to get to you, I am a deliverer. And so we first have to realize we have to surrender our hearts to Jesus. And second, we have to learn how to follow His commands. Jesus says in the Gospel of John, if you love me, you will keep my commandments.
Come on.
You cannot divorce love from obedience. You can't say that you love somebody, that I love mama, or I love daddy, or I love my spouse, or you can't say that and just treat them any old kind of way and say, well, I love you, and that's just how I am. No, you can't do that. You cannot divorce love from obedience.
Amen.
And it's not about having a checklist, a prideful checklist, and go, oh, well, you know, I can just check off, oh, I did this, I did that. Oh, you didn't do that, but I did it. It's not about that. It's about the fact that when you love someone and you are in relationship with someone, that you want to find ways that please them and bring them joy. And so God says, if you love me, keep my commandments.
Preach.
So we have to learn how to follow God's commands because we don't always want to do that. And the verses 25 4 through 27 in Proverbs 4 tells you how to do that. If you want to guard your heart, it says, first, keep your mouth free from perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Isn't it interesting? That's the very next thing that it says. If you want to guard your heart, keep your mouth shut. If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say anything good at all. Isn't it interesting that Jesus in the New Testament says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks? So if we're going to guard our heart, we have to watch what we say and keep corrupt talk away from us. We should not have corrupt talk going on in the house of God.
Amen.
Between the people of God. And we should not have corrupt talk going on outside of the house of God. Because it all belongs to God and we belong to God and we're always a child of God. And you can't just turn it off and turn it on when you want it. So he says, if you're going to guard your heart, you got to keep your mouth free from perversity. If you're going to guard your heart, it says, let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Be focused on what God has called you to do. If you're going to guard your heart, be focused on what God has called you to do. Don't allow for any distractions, people to pull you away from what God has called you to do. Then it says, give careful thought to the paths of your feet and be steadfast in all your ways. We are so busy nowadays that we don't have time to give careful thought to where our life is going. So we've got to make time to give careful thought to where our life is going so we can make the corrections. And then it says, do not turn to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil. We've got to, again, be focused. Look out for the evil and stay away from it. Don't think that, oh, well, it took that person out, but I'm better equipped to handle it, so I can dabble in it and I'll be okay. No, it'll take you out too. So the Bible says just stay away from it. You got to... Some people have high tolerance levels, some people have low tolerance levels, but everyone's got a tolerance level. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. People have come back with testimonies that, yeah, I was hooked on drugs for years, but the Lord brought me back. And then you've got some other people who didn't make it back. You got people who tried things once or twice or 3 times with no major effects, and then you got someone who tried it one time and it just messed their mind all up. Just leave it alone. God said, leave it alone. Leave it alone. And then finally, accountability partners. This Christian walk was not made to be done alone. And I'll end with Hebrews 10, verses 24 to 25. And it says, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. We are supposed to provoke one another to good works. We are supposed to encourage one another to be able to make it through the tough times. We are supposed to meet together to strengthen one another in the Word of God, in prayer, in fasting, in worship, so that we can get to where God has called us to be. So, Bethesda, this morning I ask you, what are you guarding? Will you guard your heart? Because the Word says, above all else, we are to guard our hearts. For out of it flows everything that we do. God bless you.
Amen.